Hi all, this is Skate, and there are 3 things I need to say before we get into this video. Number 1, remember this is a 5.1 open test. These changes aren't live yet, so there is time for Wargaming to change it. So don't lose your marbles yet. That being said, however, if this goes live as it is, feel free to lose your marbles because this is a bit nuts. Number 2, Wargaming, please, for the love of God, do not implement these changes. And number 3, brace yourself because this video is full of what? It's just... right, here we go. Okay, so Wargaming told us that they're going to simplify the system, simplify the tree, and simplify things for new players to make it easier to help new players improve and thus improve the game for veterans at the same time. That's... I can't believe what I've seen. That has not happened. I was quite keen on that idea, but that's not what is being implemented here. So yeah, that concept I was well on board with. I mean, simplifying it for new players, making it easier for them to learn. Fantastic. What's to complain about that? More players, more player base, more things. Great. So far, we've just looked at the German tree here, and the first thing I saw was, where is my LOL tractor? It's gone. Come on. And look how many premiums there are now. That's absurd. So basically, you're simplifying the tech tree by taking all the tanks out. Instead, they're all at the bottom available for gold. So in other words, you're not confused by the tech tree anymore if you're a brand new player. You're confused by which premium tank to buy, and if you buy the one you dislike, you've then spent real money, and thus the frustration is even worse than it was before because you can't just sell it, get a refund of your credits, and go to the next one. The confusion's still there. This does not help. And there's worse things to come. Seriously, brace yourselves. I can't. I was lost for words when I saw this, and I'm a man who likes to talk, so being lost for words is not something I am used to. This is not what is needed. What they need is simple things, a description about each tank, more understanding of how to play the game, training videos. This, like I said, the concept was good. The implementation is just no. Please, no. Let me give you an example of what I would have done. Let's pick the DW2. Very simple, above characteristics, I would have given a description in that box. I would have said to new players, this is a well-armoured tank, it is very slow, with a reasonable gun. And then you can just have tip. Angle this tank slightly to help improve armour thickness. Let's have a look at the toaster. For this, I would have written something very simple, like, this is a tank with an outstanding gun, appalling armour, and reasonably mobile. Tip. This tank plays very, very well unspotted and using bushes. You could have even written here, warning, if a cricket farts on one side of the map, it is likely to damage your tank on the other side of the map. That is more useful than what we are seeing here. And would also be very, very amusing to see in a description of a tank. But nonetheless, that's what the problem is, protection. If you're a new player, what information does all this stuff give you? I mean, shot effectiveness. We know that is penetration, but 71%. I mean, think about it from a new player's perspective. What does that give you? 71% what? Out of every tank in the entire game? Or what are we looking at? Even stupid things like this is a tank destroyer. It's a good support tank, but not front line. Where does it say anything like that in the game? Or this is a heavy tank. It is used to break through, to push forward, to be the spearhead. Where does any of that information appear in the game? Even just tooltips. When you load into the game, that's the only time you'll see anything. And even then, you don't get time to read the entire thing properly. So more information is needed for players. The next thing. Here's the Hetzer. Where's my 10.5? Give it back now. I want my 10.5. Seriously though, it's gone. Why? I will be personally fuming if we lose the 10.5. The derp is fun. Yes, we need people to learn the game. However, making everything the same is not going to make people stick around. They're going to get bored because every tank plays virtually the same. This one's just a little bit quicker, but the gun works exactly the same, and it's just got a slightly different rate of fire. Everything will be virtually the same. Some have a turret, some don't. What else difference is there at that point? You need different guns to make it exciting, to make it amusing. Stripping them from the game is not helpful. I mean, look, A20's lost its damn autoloader. I mean, come on. These are tanks which people like to play. And they're tanks that you stick with. Next, you're going to be telling me the 152 on the KV2, which, by the way, check out the tech tree. It's replaced the T150. But yeah, next they're going to be saying the 152 on the KV2 isn't viable because it confuses people and makes them think HE is the correct ammo on every tank. So thus, we're going to remove it. Again, it's just... no. I mean, Wargaming, please listen to us. We are your players. We are your fans. We're not trying to dictate. We're trying to tell you, don't do these things because it's not going to help. It's going to make matters worse. We are the players. We know what we're on about. Now, yeah, we're not all business-minded, so thus we can't look at it from that perspective. I mean, me personally, if I was looking at all those premiums there now, which, what, 2,360 gold for that one, which wasn't previously a premium, I'd be looking at this from a business perspective going, hey, look at all those tanks which will now sell for gold. There's some more gold being spent. But if you think about this rationally now, okay, let's try from this perspective. If I don't buy, right, I buy a tank which doesn't have a description against it. I have no idea what it is until I've bought it. I don't like it. At that point, I've spent real money. I'm going to get annoyed quicker. Or let's try another perspective. Kick me in the nuts or kick me in the wallet and I will not forgive someone. Slap me across the face, I may forgive you at some point, but kicking me in the nuts is a no-no. That's what it feels like with this scenario. You go up the wrong line on the tech tree and you go, fair enough, I'm not enjoying this, let's go back and I'll go up a different line. You can't do that with premiums. At that point, you've spent your money already. How's that going to benefit new people? They're just going to be frustrated at premium tanks now instead of tech tree tanks because they're not understanding still, because they're in the same situation, a lack of information. The only difference now is they're frustrated with the premium tanks rather than the tech tree tanks, so they can't just go back. Thus, they're going to end up frustrated more. Oh, and here's one. Keni. You see Keni up there, now a premium tank? Right. Let's jump back out and have a look at this. There's the Keni. We all know that very, very, very overpowered tank, which, bit of an icon, even the Wargaming staff refer to it as a Blitz legend. It's known as Keni Ostu. Let's load up Keni Ostu. Because it hasn't been nerfed, it's been castrated. What happened to not nerfing premium tanks? So, rate of fire nerf, shells in magazine nerf, alpha damage nerf, dispersion nerf, reload nerf, everything nerfed. Oh, that's not good news. If they can nerf this one and nothing happens, what's to stop any other premium tank getting nerfed? Now, I know this is a rare tank. Also, what's the difference between Keni and Keni Ostu now? Both of them are premium. There's no difference in between them. I'm hoping this doesn't come live because there will be absolute hell if this goes live. That's a premium tank, a very rare premium tank. And if that gets obliterated, well, I don't know what to say on that one. That's you can't do it. That's a premium tank. People spent money on that one. And it's a rare premium tank, so it's a Blitz legend. It's a bit of an icon in Blitz. And for those who don't have the tank and who are going, so what? So few people have got it. How would you feel if your premium tanks at tier 8 got slammed into the ground? It's not even just nerfed. It's slammed into the ground to the point of what's the point in having it? So I hope that doesn't make it to the live server. Chinese tech tree. The Renault from tier 1's disappeared. We've got the type B instead, and at tier 2 there is now the LT VZ38. Moving on to the French tech tree, the R35 Tier 1. Wow. Now that thing's a pain in the butt to penetrate. You imagine coming into the game, having 3 or 4 battles, and trying to shoot through the front of one of them things. It's not going to happen. You're also then going to think all the French tanks are heavily armoured and go enjoy them and then get to the AMX ELC or the 12T or the S35CA or pretty much any French tank. That seems like such a stupid thing to point out, but think about it from a brand new player's perspective. They're just going to think French tanks are really heavily armoured because, well, that's what the line starts like. Why would it differ? And there's no explanation in the game to tell you otherwise. The next one, check out the American low tier tech tree. I've sold a couple of the premiums so you can see how much they cost. Check in the T37 still had its autoloader. Chaffee has now gone to tier 6 and has received quite a significant buff in doing so. The rate of fire has gone from 7.36 to 10.79. Penetration has gone from 115 to 135. Hit points have gone from 670 up to 900. View range is still 250 though. You'd think they'd improve it considering how lightly armoured it is and it's going up a tier. Also, if I flick back to the tech tree, you'll notice that the Cunningham from tier 1 has gone and has been replaced by the M2 Light. Look, I'll just put it this way. I am a massive fan of this game. I don't rage, I don't scream and cry. But that doesn't mean I will sit here and say everything you are doing for the game is great, because some of the ideas are silly. And I will call that out as best I can with a rational argument as to why I think it's a bad idea. And to be honest, I'm willing to put a bet all you've got to do is read the comment section to see how many people are going to hate this change. On top of that, I actually think this is going to be bad for new players. I don't think this is going to help new players. I am well on board with the idea of helping to improve new players and help new players to A, improve the game, B, it improves our experience as players, C, the more players mean the more profit for wargaming and the more survivability of the game. I'm on board to try and help with every single one of them I can. Because it's a game we all enjoy. None of you guys watching this video, even who have got to this point in the video, will be watching it if you didn't enjoy the game. My opinion is very simple. This is madness. It's actually almost to the point where you think it's a joke. You can't bring this in live. Please don't bring this in live. A massive overhaul at this point to that level is not the answer. You're missing the obvious simple things. Give a description, give more tooltips which are useful not just while you're waiting for a game to load. In the garage, have more little I buttons to give proper descriptions on things. Proper descriptions on the tanks, little tips for the tanks. Training from the menu button, they're the rudimentary basics to come before such an overhaul. And this is where my biggest frustration lies with wargaming. I love your game. I love this game. We all do. We wouldn't be making videos on YouTube about it and spending so much of our own time trying to write feedback to you. But I almost feel like it goes unnoticed. I mean, we warned on spare parts, it went ahead anyway. We warned on timers, it went ahead, and there was just, well, we all know what happened. But this is the thing, we give wargaming this information, we give our feedback, we give feedback speaking or trying to speak on behalf of the community because we read your comments. Granted, not all the comments are really feedback you want to give. Some of them are ragey as hell, but then you have to filter that comment into something rational sometimes. Screw you, you killed the game with 3.8. This guy hates spare parts. Very easy. See, I can then take that translation to wargaming as feedback. And that's what we try to do non-stop. Hell, I would pay for my own flights to Minsk to have a meeting with wargaming, to give my feedback on behalf of the community on what people want to see, what we'd pay money for. I mean, come on. Another example, attachments. 4,000 gold for an attachment. No. There's not a struggle with supply and demand. The price doesn't need to be so high. It's very easy. I haven't bought one attachment because of the price. However, if the price was considerably cheaper, I would have bought one for every single one of my tier 10 tanks by now. And I've seen so few people with those attachments at tier 10. And it is very simple. Yeah, you may sell a couple at 4,000 apiece, but being as there's no supply and demand issue and it's very easy to fill the quota of however many people want, drop the price and we'll buy a holy truck ton. It's as easy as that. I just feel like Wargaming have the right ideas. In theory, just the way it's then implemented is just... it almost falls off the quota of what was originally planned. Hence the big... come on, we love the game, we want to help support it, and we give our feedback, and people get so angry in the comment sections because they're so passionate about the game. It's as simple as that. Why would they get so angry if they didn't enjoy the game and see something they enjoy going the wrong way? Anyway, I could go on this topic for ages. I'm going to cut the video off there. Thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Very hard to fit that sentence in considering the video. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.